A video on Sauvage on my channel. Strange, no? I'm not sick, I'm fine. Bonjour fragrance lovers, this is Clemence. I talk about fragrance and welcome back. In today's video we're talking about the most popular fragrance beast of the industry at the moment, but this review will be as objective as it can be. At the end, of course, I will tell you my thoughts and I will tell you why I don't think you're supporting Johnny Depp if you're buying a Sauvage. Anyway, let's start. Mainly like a fresh, spicy fragrances created by François Demachy, an amazing perfumer. People that are judging the work of a perfumer because of their generic fragrances or fragrances that they did for the designer range, this is not fair. The perfumer has a brief that is very strict for the brand, usually, especially for big brands like Dior. So I think you'd rather judge their work on niche fragrances that give more space to the creativity of perfumer, but definitely not on Sauvage. For the Eau de Toilette that was launched in 2015, really funny, it gave me my memories because I was actually working for the launch of the fragrance in a store, and I remember I was working for Chanel, so I was with my Bleu de Chanel like, what's happening over there? Smell extremely fresh, especially with bergamot that gives a very zesty tone, lots of pepper as well, effervescent type of spice. And of course the signature, a lot of ambroxan. If you don't know what is ambroxan, it's a molecule that smells extremely projecting but sweet as well, slightly woody, earthy, ambery, so it's great to give a consistent to a fragrance and to give a lot of projection. Overall it's a composition that is very clean, very fresh. For the Eau de Parfum that was launched in 2018, I would say with this one we have a hint of sweetness, especially with vanilla that gives a slightly ambery accord. Similar DNA to Eau de Toilette, it's very smooth, it's a great balance. 2019 there was the Parfum that was launched. For the Parfum we are in totally a DNA that is very different. They wanted to go for something a little bit more smoother. You have olibanum that is like slightly resinous smell. There's sandalwood in the heart, and sandalwood gives again smoothness and woody vibe to the fragrance. I'd say even like the end is slightly powdery. And finally 2021 we go for the Elixir. You still have the DNA, but it's also a little bit different. Of course it's an elixir, it's meant to be a lot richer. We still have a signature in lavender in the heart of the fragrance to give like the core freshness. It's much more warm spices. It's not like this pepper that are cold spices, but warm spices like cinnamon, cardamom, so sultry spices. What is really different in there is this licorice note, to the extent that sometimes I feel it's a little bit boozy, nearly like anise-like to me. Very ambery and very round at the end, very much darker composition. Go back to the Eau de Toilette, super versatile. You can wear that any day, the dump reach of a collection. It's so versatile that you can use it for whatever you like. It's the typical generic masculine smell that we used to it. So I think it's kind of reassuring for men because they're like, yeah, that smells like a man, basically. Like, because we used to that smell, you know. I wouldn't probably use it on a date, personally. I think, you know, with too much projection, too fresh, no. The mass appealing one, be a people pleaser, because you don't go for something extremely original. You don't go for something that is bad as well. It's good, it's a good fragrance, but it's not original at all. We'll smell that before. It's mass appealing because it doesn't take risk. It's Sauvage Eau de Toilette in better, for me. You've got a more modern touch to it. You have the fresh spiciness, the ambroxan is still there, much more warm trail that gives at least something more sensual to a fragrance. To me, I think for me it's like a little bit more sexy, maybe a little bit more mature as well. For the Parfum we are supposed to get a much more luxurious composition, much more mature, but at the same time a little bit more discreet because it's very smooth. So it's probably like something you would more use during winter or for a date or something like that. Coziness. I don't know, like for me this one is cozy. Elixir, I think again, like this is the most elegant one for me. Let's salute the fact that we go for something much more creative. It's not that we didn't see before in Sauvage. It's a little bit more edgy to me, that we rarely smell in the designer range. So I think that's a good thing. It's not as versatile or for a date, you know. It's for dinner, it's for evening, you know. Something a little bit more sexy. For eau de toilette, it's been known for years for performance. Why people bought a lot Sauvage? Because the performance is incredible. Free spray and people like, oh, it lasts for 12 hours, oh, it lasts for 24 hours. Take a shower, please, take a shower. Don't do 24 hours. Very lasting freshness. Lots of men want to smell clean for a long time, especially if you're like 9 hours, 6 hours in the office. You want to make sure at the end you smell as fresh. For the eau de parfum, definitely not stronger. It's warm. I'd say the projection is nice. You get a good performance with a nice sillage. I would say a bit the same of the eau de toilette, even though I reckon the freshness of the eau de toilette lasts a little bit longer. Parfum, I am gonna be honest with you, I've tried on the skin. I've seen also comments because you can't judge a performance by your own experience of the fragrance, because we know how much the skin and environment can be sometimes a factor of performance or not. It's very discreet. It's like a skin scent. Because the fragrance is so smooth, it's definitely something that you smell close to your skin. So if you're looking for heavy projection, you're not gonna be probably very happy with this one. And then the Elixir, you get something very much more heavy and a very solid performance. The rates that I'm giving today is definitely not mine, because otherwise I'm gonna put like 1 and 2 and we don't want that. Overall, objectively, like compared to each other, what grade would I give to those fragrances? I would say the eau de toilette for me is a good solid 7 out of 10. It's your dump range in your collection. You won't be disappointed if you're looking for the classic masculine smell with a good projection. So it does the job. For the eau de parfum, I would put 7.5 over 10 because for me, the more modern approach is nice and you don't lose on the freshness. The parfum for me is definitely under. For what occasion is it for? It's a bit confusing, which show me that this is probably not necessary in the collection. It's a 4 out of 10. You lose the DNA. If you want like a warmer fragrance, you'd rather go for the eau de parfum or the Elixir. And for the Elixir, I of course give like an 8 out of 10. I think for me, if you want to jump into a Sauvage, you should go for the Elixir. That's the one that gives a little bit of creativity. Voilà quoi, you don't want to smell like everyone else. I don't like Sauvage, I'm gonna be honest, because there's a lot of people that are buying fragrance for the practicality and the performance and stuff like that. Oh, my fragrance is beast, I want my fragrance to be beast. For me, that's absolutely not a criteria. When I buy a fragrance, I absolutely don't care if it's gonna last or not. I care about the creativity. I've worked, you know, with perfumers and professionals in the industry, and honestly, like it's so refreshing for me to see meticulous and qualitative composition. And for me, performance doesn't rhyme at all with quality. Overly synthetic crap can last really long on you. It's got nothing really interesting. So I did that video on TikTok to say don't buy Sauvage, buy this instead. I'm not telling you what to do, first of all, it's just like a short video, so I don't have much time to say whatever I think. You're grown up enough to choose if you want to buy it or not. I'm just here to give you an advice, you take it or you leave it, I don't care. Because I had comments like this. The main thing of the comment was like, we support Johnny Depp, blah, 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 blah. I buy it for Johnny Depp. First of all, do you really think the Sauvage that you're going to buy in your little shop, some money is going to arrive into Johnny Depp's bank account? No. It's going to go into LVMH bank account, Dior, one of the biggest group of the planet.
Yes, but Dior has been supported Johnny Depp throughout the process.
Yeah, but there's money behind. Come on, like then you, like every supporter of Johnny Depp will buy a Sauvage if he was on TV advertised, you know. A risk, sure, but definitely a good marketing. Like how many Sauvage did they sold with this trio? And yes, you can support Sauvage because he's your favorite actor and stuff like that, but honestly, don't you think Johnny doesn't have enough money? And he's been not supported enough? He's got shitloads of money and $10 million that's gonna come from Amber Heard, so... as far as I love Johnny Depp because I love his movie, especially the collaboration he always does with Tim Burton is my life, those things, I love it. But like, we didn't watch the same trial, guys. You're putting a fantasy over this story. That's usually what do people, they're like, the hero, Johnny Depp, and oh, the bad woman, Amber Heard. As far as I was definitely pro Johnny Depp, is not a all black and white in there. Like, the guy assumed, and it was proved, that he was also abusing and also being violent. So it's not to the same extent, and it's been proven, that's why Amber probably have to pay more. We're talking about two people that's been violent to each other, one more than the other for sure, but two people that have been violent to each other using drugs, like it's hardcore, you know. It's not a beautiful story, it's actually a very sad story. You do what you like, but I'd rather buy my fragrance to smell nice and enjoy it personally, just for me, you know. Especially if I'm putting the money for a luxury fragrance. I don't have much more money, but I'm sure Johnny does have a lot, so I can support you with my thoughts if you like. Anyway, I don't want any violent comment in because Sauvage, I don't know, like, he's triggering people. I don't want any violent comment. You'll be deleted straight away. I've put filter all over my channel. I can't bear with unpolite people and rude people on my channel. I can't bear it. I don't want to see any more of those things in there. If you can't express yourself correctly, you're out. Voilà. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. For me, it's quite funny and challenging actually to talk about a fragrance objectively. I think as a reviewer, you definitely need to give what you think, but also it's interesting to see how objectively, without any feeling, you can talk about a fragrance. I think I did my job in there. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new here. There's quite a lot of you that are watching my channel without being subscribed. It's not very nice, guys. It's free and it makes me happy. A big thank you to my YouTube community that also give me little coffee and tip to support the channel. It's always helping, so thank you so much. And I will see you very soon. Bye now.
Viens, je t'emmène dans mon paradis bleu.